to the Complete Hire Equipment WRFL Round 15 preview. Andrew Wilson here along with Pepe Cavalieri. Welcome, Pepe.
Hello, Willow.
Before we preview all the games, just let everyone know that footy and netball clubs across the West will go the extra mile to tackle road safety this weekend as the WRFL participates in the inaugural TAC Towards Zero round. For the first time in the TAC's 28-year-long partnership with AFL Victoria, the TAC is coordinating a statewide fixtured round for all grassroots and community football and netball clubs from August 2 to 4th. The Towards Zero round aims to highlight the value of reaching zero deaths on our roads and why it is something all Victorians should be working towards. The round will see all senior men's and senior women's captains wearing the number 0 on their backs instead of their usual jumpers. RFL netballers will also participate in the round by wearing a TAC socks on Friday night. Community members can help spread the message that zero is possible by tagging TAC, the WRFL, in your Towards Zero round photos on social media. Fantastic cause by the TAC, Pepe.
Yeah, it sure is, and it's a cause close to a lot of people's hearts. As we know, a lot of people die and get injured on our roads. Terrible tragedies all the time, and we hope to reduce that number as close to zero. The numbers on the back make our jobs a little bit difficult at the weekend, but certainly worth it. It should be easy to recognise the captains for each team this week. So make sure if you're driving to the game as well, take it easy.
Yep. All right, now let's look ahead to Rams Division 1. Caroline Springs taking on Altona. You think Altona would be too strong, Pepe?
Yeah, I would have thought so. And with top spot just about wrapped up for them, that's got to keep winning and make sure they sew it up. They'll get a week off first week of the finals. Should be an easy win for them.
Yeah, massive game this one. Deer Park taking on Werribee Districts. In the Deer Park are in the middle of a tough run, playing a lot of the top sides during this run, but Werribee Districts had a fantastic win last week over Spotswood. Look to consolidate their spot in the top 3.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one. Well, I've actually tipped Werribee Districts just because I think both these sides aren't in the best of form, I think it's fair to say. Yeah. Both just a little bit up and down from time to time. Deer Park struggling to hit the scoreboard the last couple of weeks, have been really struggling to get past the 10-goal barrier, which is going to be a bit of an issue coming into finals if they can't rectify that problem. The Tigers, on the other hand, they had a slow start last week against Spotswood. It didn't matter because they had Nick Bucks in their team, who kicked 6 goals in the second half. It was one of the best individual displays I think we'll see all year, and very handy to have in their team. I'm just leaning the Tigers' way, but I'm also very wary that you don't often tip against Deer Park and get it right. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I might go to Lions in that one. It's going to be a tough one to pick that one. Point Cook take on Hoppers Crossing. Is this the week Hoppers get into the 5?
Well, it could well be with Spotswood playing St Albans. We'll get to that in a little bit. Certainly the Saints, we won't write them off, but in terms of favouritism in between those two games, you'd expect Hoppers Crossing to win comfortably. I'll tip the Warriors, and finally they might get some reward for their good form because they've been playing quite well. I suppose you excuse the Spotswood result a couple of weeks ago, but apart from that, they've been very good, and certainly a finals contender, certainly a premiership contender if they can get into the 5 Willow. But I think they're going to get in there. It'll do wonders for their confidence if they can be 5th at the end of round 15.
Yeah, Warriors for me as well. And that game, St Albans taking on Spotswood. Woodsman will be pretty disappointed after giving up a 6-goal lead early in that second quarter last week to Werribee Districts to end up losing by a kick. St Albans keep rolling along though, so it's not going to be an easy game for the Woodsman.
No, it certainly won't. And they're good at home, St Albans. They play their ground really well. They weren't convincing last week, though, in beating Sunshine. They were down at three-quarter time, had to really battle back. They've had a tough, I suppose, 3 weeks. They've got the wins, but perhaps haven't had their best form. But I suppose that's testament to them. Good teams find a way to win when they're not playing their best. They're certainly capable against Spotswood, but I just think the Woodsmen, coming off a tough loss, they'll be raring to go. Yeah,
I'm going to go with the Woodsmen in that one. The final game of Division 1 is Sunshine and Albion.
Yeah, look, I think Sunshine have been showing a bit of promise lately, and certainly last week to take it up to St Albans right until the end was testament to that. So the Kangaroos for mine, Willow.
Yeah, agree with that one. That was Rams Division 1. Now Division 2, Parkside take on Newport. This is a beauty, this one. Newport need to keep winning to keep their finals hopes alive, and yeah, so do Parkside actually as well. So it's going to be a a big game at Parkside on Saturday.
Yeah, it sure will be. Parkside third on the ladder, a little bit more comfortable, obviously, than Newport, who are still on the outer. But a few weeks ago, we thought their finals hopes were dashed, Willow. But they had a brilliant game against Point Cook Centrals last week. They went in as underdogs, playing away from home on a track that the Sharks know how to play very well. They were down at three-quarter time. Newport kicked 4-0 in the last quarter to overrun them and won by 14 points in the end. So the finals flame still flickers for the Power, or the Power's still on if you want to make a stupid pun, but we won't get into that and we could be here all day. Parkside because if they lose, all of a sudden they're on the edge.
Yeah, I agree. I think Parkside will get the job done in that one. West Footscray take on Point Cook Central. It's a much improved West Footscray during the second half of the season. It's not going to be an easy task for the Sharks if they want to hold on the fourth spot.
No, it's not going to be, especially at short and reserve. I think we touch on this
You
every
do
time.
week, Peppy.
Every time. It will be a tough game for Point Cook Centrals. They should win, though, I think, and they must win because. And if they do win, they'll probably secure their finals berth. It'll make it difficult for Newport as well. It'll make that buffer 2 games again if they can't get over Parkside. So the Sharks for mine, Willow.
Yeah, Sharks for me as well. And our radio game is going to be Yarraville Seddon hosting Wyndham Vale. Yarraville Seddon have won their past 10 matches, while Wyndham Vale have won their past 5. Their last loss was against Yarraville Seddon, so big game this one. So you can hear all the action from 1:30 on 88.9 Win FM.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive game. Willow, the last time we saw them, it was an easy win for Yarraville Seddon in the end, potentially unexpected because they hadn't been playing their best football leading up to that. But as you said, since then, 10 straight wins. They've been very, very good. The 2 clear standouts in Division 2, I think, still Parkside and Point Cook Centrals and Newport a little bit back of those 2. So if all goes to plan for these 2 teams, we'd expect them to be battling it out for the flag later in the year. We've had some interesting battles between the top 2 in Division 2 in the past few seasons with big wins either way, kind of seesawing one against another. Neither...
Bit of gamesmanship at times.
Yes, a bit of gamesmanship. I think there's no question about that, but... closer to the end of the season, I think we might get a good indication as to where these 2 sit up against one another. I'm just siding marginally with Wyndham Vale.
As am I. So it's going to be a cracking game on 88.9 Win FM on Saturday. Division 3, Auburn Vale take on Sunny Heights. Sunny Heights coming off a bit of a shock loss, you'd say, to Wyndham Suns last week, and they need to keep winning now if they want to keep their final spot. But Auburn Vale looking good in the top 2.
Yeah, they are. The last time these 2 teams played, I tipped Sunshine Heights because they'd just come into a rich vein of form, which kind of got ended last week against Wyndham Suns, which was definitely a wake-up call for them. Willow, could be one of those losses that you kind of have to have going into finals just to kick your bum back into gear or whatever the coaches will be telling the players, because certainly they weren't really switched on for that game, and they got beaten in the end. So I still think Auburn Vale will win this one this time. I don't think it'll be as comprehensive as it was last time, around the 11-goal mark, I believe. But my only query is coming off such a huge win, Auburn Vale, last week against North Sunshine. 345 points was the margin. From all reports, they played to their structures pretty well. And then on the flip side, you've got a really fired-up Sunshine Heights outfit. So it could shape as a really, really big game. But I just think the Cobras.
Yeah, agree. I think the Cobras will be too strong in that one. North Sunshine and the Lavington. Last versus second last, I think Lavington will win this one.
Yeah, I think so. I think Lavington have a bit too much class. They've been playing some decent football lately as well, Willow, and fresh off the bye, I think. So they didn't play last week, so they'll have a bit of extra energy potentially. And unfortunately for North Sunshine, I'm sure plenty of energy would have been sapped from them after a big loss like that last week. So I think the Magpies will win.
Yeah, agree. Tarneet take on Braybrook. Winner gets 4th spot.
Yeah, this has all of a sudden become a really interesting game because Braybrook, a few weeks ago, we thought their finals hopes might be done. 7 weeks into the year, we thought Tarneet were guaranteed top 2, and here they are, 2 points dangling basically in the 4, and they could be out at the end of the round. I think they'll win Tarneet just. They were good against Braybrook. They got off to a slow start. They came home with a bit of a wet sail, only lost by 8 points against Glen Orton. I just think it's too big a game for them. They absolutely must win it. I think they will.
I just went with the toss of the coin, and I'm going with the Brookers in a bit of an upset at Tarneet on Saturday. And the final game of Division 3's Wyndham Suns taking on Glen Orton.
Yeah, Glen Orton should win this one, Willow, but away from home against a Suns team that's been good lately, the second half of the year, evidenced by last week's win over Sunshine Heights. And top spot really is on the line as well. They're only 2 points ahead of Auburn Vale, so if they lose, they could lose that. Not that it makes a huge difference in finals, given there's no real home advantage dished out, but certainly a mental edge going in as minor premierships potentially. The Hawks have had such a marvellous year. Off the back of that, they should win.
Yeah, all right. This has been the complete hire equipment WRFL round 15 preview. Don't forget, TAC towards zero round. Take care on the roads. And junior finals commence this weekend, so get out and support the kids of your club. And good luck to your team this weekend.